It's BAMA Talk with your host, Willie Mildew. And I'm your award-winning announcer, Electric Eric. Join Willie and his call-in guests as they discuss the most powerful college football program in the universe. And now, here's Willie! All right now, this is BAMA Talk. I'm your host, Willie Mildew. We'll be talking about college football and taking your phone calls. But first, can I get a roll tide?
All right!
Roll tide.
Pardon the pun, but let's kick things off by taking a look at Bama's schedule. First off is Bama at Missouri. And you notice, the Iron Bowl ain't Bama's last game. No. After they win that one, they'll face Arkansas. Now, before we get to our callers, I want to show you a photo of the very first University of Alabama football team. They played their first game in 1892 on November 11th and won 56-0. That's 0-10. No helmets? All right now. Time to go to the phones. Our first caller is Snapper from Wheelerville, Alabama.
Mr. Willie Mildew, this is Snapper down here in Wheelerville, Alabama, calling about the Alabama football program. Do you think that Alabama recruited from the middle school this year or the Pee Wee League for their place kicker? Because them boys don't know nothing about kicking through no upright. I sure appreciate your answer, and thank you very much.
Snapper done hit us with both barrels on that one. Yeah. Well, I have faith that this will be the year for the weak spot in Alabama's kicking category. You know, Will Reichert, he's fully recovered. And here's something he posted on Twitter, a 60-some-odd yard field goal. Take a look. Get a kick out of you. Ba-ba-ba-boo. Yeah. Thank you, Snapper, for your insight and your double negatives. You know, and also, along with Will, you know, we've got at least 3 more great kickers. So, no worries this season on kicking. It's taken care of. All right. We got Sharon on the line from South Alabama.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. This is Sharon from South Alabama, and I have a quick question. In your opinion, who do you think was the best Alabama football coach, Bear Bryant or Nick Saban?
Well, Sharon, thank you so much for that wonderful question. It's going to start a bunch of fist fights around town, I'm sure. Yeah, but I tell you what, Bryant and Saban were ranked number 1 and 2 of ESPN's 150 greatest football coaches in football history. So I won't argue with ESPN, but I will say this. You know, Saban's not through yet. We don't know what his record's going to be. All right, we got Terry on the line from Valdosta, Georgia.
Yeah, hello, Willie. This is Terry from Valdosta, Georgia. Go Dogs. I just want to say that we'd be so lucky to have a coach half as good as Saban or Bear Bryant at Georgia.
Well, I do think your coach is only half as good.
Well, we're looking to whip Bama this year, so hang on. Now, you know, as far as who the better coach is, you know, I think that, Bear Bryant was tough. real tough on his guys. You know, he took the team the first time he had them, he took them a couple of 100 miles out of town to a farm. And he worked them so hard, I think about a third of the team quit. So he was a tough one. And I think Saban, he kind of patterns himself a little bit out of that toughness, but I think he's got a kinder heart. I don't know. But right now, I'd have to say that Bear Bryant is the most winningest coach, so I consider him better.
All right. Thank you very much for that call, Terry. On the line now is Lorraine, a Clemson alumni.
Hi, Willie. Thanks for taking my call. This is Lorraine. I've always been a big fan, well, at least until you started all this BAMA talk. You know, Bama isn't the only good team out there. My alma mater, Clemson University, is top-notch in many ways. We excel in academics, not like partying Alabama. We rank number 27 to their 172 as far as public universities go in the country. 82% of our kids graduate, while only 69% of Bama's do. Once again, can you say, partying school?
Well, maybe that's because it's easier to graduate from Clemson.
Sports-wise, what can I say? We've been national champs in several sports recently, such as soccer, baseball, women's softball, and, yeah, of course, football. I hear Bama's kind of jealous of our football coach, Dabo Swinney, because Dabo actually looks like he enjoys coaching and playing football instead of grumpy-faced Nick Saban, who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. I hear that when Nick retires, which who knows when that'll be, that they might look to get Dabo as their coach at Alabama. If they were only so lucky. I can only say one thing, that there are many teams that are good, but only one can be on top, and that's Clemson. Willie, are you ready to come to the good side and be a Clemson Tiger? Go Tigers. By the way, how does an elephant go with the phrase roll tide anyway? I personally have never seen any elephants in the ocean.
Well, the elephant reference comes from the 1930s when the tide was coming out on the field and someone in the stands yelled, "Hold your horses, here come the elephants." Yeah, that team in the 1930s had a 10-win, no-loss record. They shut out 8 of those 10 opponents, and they were only scored 13 points against, and they had 217 points that they scored. So it just kind of stuck. The journalists just kept calling them the Red Elephants.
Willie, are you ready to come to the good side and be a Clemson Tiger? Go Tigers.
Now, why did I get the feeling that I just talked to the Dean of Admissions at Clemson University? She has to be some kind of school marm. Now, on the line from Mobile, Alabama, Billy.
Hey, Willie. This is Billy from Mobile. Checking in and got some defensive questions. Obviously, we got Dylan Moses back, thank goodness. It's going to be a big help on the linebackers. Are we going to get any kind of pass rush this year? It's killing me. Let me know. Give me your thoughts.
Well, Billy, I think this year's pass rush for Bama going to be stronger than the smell of donuts coming out of a police car on a 24-hour stakeout. Yeah. You know, you got prospects in Sanders, Anderson Braswell, and Quandarius Robinson. And you also have Davis and Parks coming up. I believe you'll see a lot from Robinson this year. And Moses, of course, is going to really be ready to cause some damage. That's right. Thank you for your call, Billy. From Mobile.
Right. Sounds like it's time for email.
Read it.
Today's email comes in from Tony from Slidell, up there at the northeast shore of Lake Punch the Train. Yeah, Louisiana. Tony says, well, does the field goal kicker look like this year? And does Saban still not believe in giving scholarships to kickers? That's crazy thinking. Starling's always had a good kicker. That's Tony from Slidell. Well, Tony, let me just say this much. If you remember the days of Tua tangled all over, we were scoring 45 points before the halftime. No need for a kicker. You know what I'm saying? And we got one now amongst the few that are there too that he's kicking 60-yard field goals in his short pants in his spare time. So you sit back and relax, Tony. We got it covered. Thanks, Tony from Slidell. All right now, it's time for a Roll Tide that we give on each show to a deserving Bama fan. And today's deserving fan is Uncle Henry of News Radio 710 WNTM, Mobile, Alabama. Uncle Henry also has all kind of podcasts, internet TV show, a blog spot. So here's a Roll Tide for a big Bama fan, Uncle Henry.
Roll Tide!
All right, Roll Tide, Uncle Henry. It's 4th down. Game over. Time to head for the locker room. Want to thank our call-in guests. Also want to thank our award-winning announcer, Electric Eric. Yeah. Want to thank Karen Marrero for her artwork and set design. So this has been 1st and 1 until we have 1st and 2 and see you again. Here's a big Roll Tide.